Hi, I'm Jamie Paris with Cinegration Development. Thanks for joining me as I show you how to set up and use our new OpenAI ChatGPT Driver for Control4. In today's video, I'll walk you through the full driver setup, and then we'll explore several real-world use cases to show just how powerful AI can be inside your smart home. You can download or purchase a driver today at drivercentral.io, and always remember all of our drivers come with a 30-day trial period. For these examples, I'll be using our ChatGPT driver alongside several of our other integrations. I'll use our Integrator Tools Agent Driver to have the AI responses play through my Sonos speakers. I'll demonstrate our UniFi Protect camera driver where ChatGPT analyzes a package delivery snapshot, counts how many packages have arrived, and even identifies who they're from. And finally, I'll use our Modes Integration Plus driver to trigger a Start My Day scene, where I can ask ChatGPT to tell me a joke, summarize what happened in the stock market yesterday, and then I will kick off my morning playlist. And this is exactly why we recommend our cinDEV driver bundle for all of your Control4 projects. When you have access to our full suite of drivers, you can combine them in powerful ways like this to create truly intelligent, personalized smart home experiences. All of this and so much more is possible with this driver. The only real limit is your imagination. So let's go ahead and get started with the setup. Once you download it in your Control4 folder, you'll just go ahead and put it into the whatever room you want. And then how to set it up, he has it really described very well in the Documentations tab. You'll need to go here and you'll need to set up an API key. Now, just so you know, this API key will have a fee. You'll have to charge to be able to use this driver. But for example, I've been using this driver for 2 months, been doing a lot of testing on it, and I haven't even paid more than $2 so far. So it doesn't cost a lot, but you will need to set up and fund your API key to use this driver. Once you have that, you'll enter it in here and hit set, and make sure you write this down and put it somewhere in your customers folder, so that way if you ever lose the API key, you have it to re-enter it in. The next is you have preferred models, right? So currently there's 4 models in it. There's the GPT 5.2. This is the best model for coding and some others. For cost-efficient ones, the GPT-5 Mini or Nano work well as well. And then just to kind of show you what a search one would be for is if you need to search the web for like news stories, things about the stock market, those types of things, you would want to use the search API. Next, we have your global prompt and your test prompt, right? So the global prompt, I like to use the following. I like to say limit my responses to one sentence, and never use the source information in the response. That way, if it is searching the web and it gives a source, it won't tell us those things when the response comes out. Now this is a web UI driver, as you'll see here. You can go ahead and it'll load into the comfort section to whatever room you put it in. And if you want it to go into other rooms, you would just also say show icon on specific rooms. You pick what other rooms you want it to go into and it'll automatically put those into navigators. But we're not going to do that for now. Let's go ahead and launch the web UI so you can see what it looks like. Here it gives you the model. We have a whole bunch of presets here you can choose from. And you could also just ask it something here as well. And you can, if it's about your home, you check mark this and it checks the system info to let you know like if a light's on, something like that. So if we were to test prompts, it would just show up here and it would also, you could ask it in here and it'd give you your answer in here. But this is where I'm going to show you how to use our other drivers to get the responses to come through like a text to voice, right? So how we're going to do that is in programming, we're going to say under the ChatGPT driver, when an AI request is processed, I want to use a AI response. I want to use a voice alert to give me the AI response. So I'm going to do that with my integrator tools. And with all of our custom messages, you can insert a variable from another driver. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let me get here. So the ChatGPT driver is let me go to info. You can see it's device ID 2912. So that's the ID we're going to use, and we're going to use the last AI response. So I'm going to go back to Integrator Tools. I'm going to say when a custom voice alert happens, I want to insert that variable. So I'm going to do a square bracket. I'm going to say 2912. Sorry, I thought I mistyped there. Colon, and then last AI response, and then close bracket. Okay, I'm going to pick my Sonos speaker so that I want it to go to. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to do that. And there's the exact same one. I'm just going to delete this first one. And now let's go ahead and ask it something here. So we're going to go back here. I'm going to say, tell me a funny joke. Okay, I'm going to hit set. And we're just going to wait for it, and it should come out here shortly.
I told my suitcase we weren't going on vacation this year. Now it's always packed.
Now let's go ahead and ask it with one of these presets here. So let's just say, what is the weather like today? So we'll do that.
Today's high will be about 66 degrees Fahrenheit and the low around 43 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's little chance of any rain or snow.
So that's how you can kind of use it as your personal assistant, tie it to a speaker, and then have it give you responses anytime you ask it a question. We're going to go ahead and disable this and get into the next topic here. Now for the next use case, we talked about when my doorbell camera detects a package. So this is using our UniFi Protect camera driver. So I say when it detects a package. So what I did is I asked my prompt, I said, look at the snapshot and tell me how many packages arrived and if you can, from what company. I included my package camera snapshot here, right? And then that's all I did. I went ahead and added that in. And then what you have to kind of do so it waits until the prompt is processed, right? So you go in and you create a loop while the prompt is processing. Delay a second, delay a second, delay a second. Once the processing is true, then we're going to go ahead and have it send a push alert. So just to show you what it did when I had to do this, is here is the first one. I said there are 2 packages and I can't determine who they're from based on the visible labels. So it couldn't see the labels visibly enough and it said it couldn't determine them. The next time I did it, it says there's 1 package and it appears to be from Amazon, which it was. So that's how you can kind of use it to look at camera snapshots, give you more information about the package, not just let you know that a package arrived, but how many and who they're from. I thought that's a pretty cool way to be able to use this OpenAI driver. The next use case we talked about is, let's say you have a start my day scene, right? So you want to have that tell you a funny joke, tell you what the weather is going to be like today. According to the weather, what should I wear today? Is it going to rain? You can ask project-based questions. You could ask, say, tell me the top 3 news stories from yesterday. You can ask what the stock market did yesterday. You could say, tell me something that happened today in history. So you just have information about things that you want to know about for, to start your day or whatever. So what we're doing to do this is we're using our Modes Integration Plus driver. I have this one set up. You could set it up multiple different ways. I'll have a video on this later. But we have lots of different scene icons you can use from. So this one I just have using as the morning. What's cool is that when you toggle it, when I turn it on, it's going to launch my morning on macro. And when I turn it off, it's going to do my morning off macro. So let's go ahead and go to those macros and see what we're doing here. All right, in the morning on macro, I said to tell me a joke of the day, okay? With that, I added in I said to tell it today's date, so hopefully every day it will, give me a new joke of the day. Again, I'm waiting for a second for it to process. And I also added in a reference for jokes. Since I'm asking multiple questions in this one program, I'm going to reference them by joke. So when I say when the last reference is equal to joke, send this voice alert. Again, I'm using my integrator tools to do this, and I'm having it say, here's the joke of the day with the response. I'm delaying 5 seconds to have it wait for that response to be over. Then I'm asking my next question. Here I'm using one of our preset prompts. I'm saying, tell me what happened in the stock market today, right? So I did that here. I'm letting it process. Once it's over, I'm just having it send me the AI response. And then I'm delaying 20 seconds just to have it make sure there's enough time for it to give me that response. And then I'm just starting my morning playlist now, and then I'm turning on a Sonos playlist. So let's go ahead and see this in action now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my morning button to toggle it on.
This is your joke of the day. Scientists don't trust atoms. They make up everything.
So there's that one. It's delaying 5 seconds. It's going to ask what happened in the stock market. So
The S&P 500 rose 0.8%. The Dow was up 0.8%, and the Nasdaq climbed 1.0% yesterday.
So now it's starting the playlist. It's going to turn on the music, and we're going. So that's how you can kind of like do a start my day as well here. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And there it turns off my morning scene, does my morning off macro. So that's kind of just some ways you can use it. There's lots of different things you can do. Like again here you can say, what is the weather today? And it's going to go ahead and, respond here. And it will also, if I had my thing turned on, it would also tell us in here. So let me go ahead and turn this back on. Let's enable this item. Let's ask one more question, and then kind of just give you ideas of what this can do. So I'm going to ask, are there any lights on in my house?
Yes, one light is on. The basement office hue power light.
So that is actually the current light I have on in my house. So there you can see all the different ways you can use this driver. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you start using it. Thanks for watching. Again, we hope you like it, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube to always find out information on the new drivers we're releasing and when we're hosting webinars.